Wife sexting her ex. Marriage over. The recipe called for rosemary. Sarah was still in the shower, the water drumming against the tile a steady rhythm. I hate rosemary, but she insisted it was essential for this particular chicken dish. Figured I'd be a good husband and grab her phone off the counter to Google a substitution. Her phone was unlocked, which was unusual. She was normally meticulous about privacy. A notification banner sat at the top of the screen, a message from an unfamiliar number. Just a number, no name attached. Curiosity, that insidious little devil, got the better of me. I tapped the notification. The message read, "Thinking about last night. God, I want you so wet." My stomach lurched. The world seemed to tilt on its axis. I scrolled up. More messages. Lines of explicit, graphic desire. A conversation that had clearly been ongoing for some time. "You know I can't stop thinking about your mouth on me. I need to feel you again. Remember that time in the dorms I felt sick, betrayed. The air seemed to thicken, making it hard to breathe. Who the hell was this Dave? Sarah, my Sarah, capable of writing this filth." The shower stopped. Panic seized me. I quickly closed the message thread, trying to erase any trace of my intrusion. I tossed the phone back on the counter, my hands shaking. My head swam. Sarah emerged from the bathroom, wrapped in a towel, her hair dripping. She smiled at me. "Find the rosemary substitute?" I forced a smile back, my face feeling stiff and unnatural. Yeah, I lied. Time. The rest of the evening was a blur. I moved through the motions, setting the table, prepping the chicken, all the while replaying the messages in my head. I watched Sarah, trying to detect any sign of guilt or deception. She seemed normal. Maybe even a little happier. That thought was a fresh stab of pain. Later, lying in bed next to her, I stared at the ceiling, my mind racing. I couldn't sleep. The messages burned behind my eyelids. I wanted to ask her, to scream at her, but I was paralyzed by fear. Fear of the truth, fear of losing her. The next morning, I woke up exhausted and on edge. I went through her phone again when she went for a run. Same guy, more messages. I did a reverse lookup of the phone number. Nothing. It was a burner. I started noticing things I hadn't before. Sarah was spending more time on her phone, smiling to herself. She was working late more often, claiming it was due to a new project at work. She'd also seemed somewhat distant. She was probably just busy, I thought. But maybe I was just blind. I talked to Emily, my sister. She's a therapist. "Mark, you have to talk to her," she said. "Don't let this fester, but try to approach it calmly. Accusations will only make things worse." Easy for her to say. That night, I decided to try. I started by asking her about work. Casual, innocent. "How's that new project going?" She shrugged. "Fine, it's demanding, but it's good." I hesitated. "You seem distracted lately." She frowned. "Just tired, Mark. Work is crazy. I couldn't do it." The words caught in my throat. I just nodded and changed the subject. I felt like a coward. Tom, my best friend, had a different approach. "Rip the band-aid off, man. Confront her. See what she says. If she's lying, you'll know." Tom's advice felt harsh, but maybe he was right. I was tired of living in this limbo of suspicion and doubt. Sarah had a work event that Friday, a cocktail party at some fancy downtown hotel. She'd mentioned it briefly, saying it was mandatory networking. I found myself driving downtown that evening, parking a block away from the hotel. I told myself I was just curious, that I wanted to see what the event was like. But deep down, I knew I was there to spy on her. I stood across the street watching people enter the hotel. Then I saw her. Sarah, she looked stunning. A sleek black dress, her hair perfectly styled. She was laughing, talking to a man. I zoomed in. He was tall, handsome, wearing a perfectly tailored suit. He was leaning in close, whispering something in her ear. She laughed again, touching his arm. Rage boiled inside me. I wanted to cross the street to confront them both, but I held back, frozen in place. I watched them for a few minutes, my heart pounding in my chest. Then they went inside. He was probably just a coworker. I told myself that all night as I replayed the scene in my head. But the image of Sarah laughing with that man haunted me. I later found out his name was Brian. He was new in her department. Nothing was going on between them, Jessica, Sarah's friend and coworker, told me. A week later, Mark and Sarah attended a dinner party at Sarah's work friend. As people mingled, Jessica mentioned, "Oh, Sarah, did you hear David is back in town? I saw him at the grocery store the other day." Mark froze. David? That was the first time he had a name. Sarah tensed, her face paling slightly. "David?" she repeated, her voice a little too high. No, I hadn't heard. Mark stared at her, his mind reeling. David, the name on her phone, her ex, it all clicked into place. The next morning, I couldn't take it anymore. I'd found the name. That evening when Sarah got home, I was waiting for her. "Who is David?" I asked, my voice tight. Sarah looked startled. "David? What are you talking about? Don't play dumb, Sarah. The messages, the phone, David. Who is he?" Her eyes widened. She looked caught. I don't know what you mean. I pulled out my phone, showing her screenshots of the messages. These messages, Sarah, who are they from? She stared at the screen, her face draining of color. She stammered, I can explain. Explain what? That you're having a virtual affair with some guy named David. She burst into tears. It's not like that, she sobbed. It just happened. Just happened. You're sending explicit messages to another man, and it just happened. It's David, she said, her voice barely a whisper. David Miller, my ex from college. My blood ran cold. Your ex, you're sexting your ex. She nodded, tears streaming down her face. I know, it was stupid. It didn't mean anything. You were telling him how much you wanted him, how much you missed him. It was just talk, Mark. It never went further than that. I swear, I didn't believe her. How can I believe you? I asked, my voice shaking with anger and hurt. You've been lying to me for weeks. I'm sorry, she cried. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. Why, Sarah, why would you do this? She hesitated. I don't know, she said finally. I guess I was feeling stuck. Like we were in a rut. And David, he made me feel alive again. Alive at my expense, at the expense of our marriage. She looked down, ashamed. I know I was wrong. Please, Mark, forgive me. I'll stop. I promise. I stared at her, my heart breaking. 8 years. 8 years of marriage, and it had all come down to this. A series of explicit messages and a confession of infidelity. I couldn't look at her. I turned and walked out of the room, leaving her sobbing on the couch. I went to the guest room and locked the door. I didn't sleep that night. The next few weeks were a nightmare. We barely spoke. The house felt like a tomb. I moved into the guest room permanently. Sarah tried to talk to me, to apologize, but I couldn't bring myself to listen. We agreed to go to marriage counseling. Dr. Lee was calm and patient, encouraging us to communicate. But it was hard, so hard. What were you hoping to achieve by contacting David? Dr. Lee asked Sarah. I don't know, Sarah admitted. I was bored, maybe. I missed the excitement. I missed feeling desired. And what about you, Mark? Dr. Lee asked. How did you feel when you read those messages? Betrayed, I said, my voice flat. Like everything I thought we had was a lie. Do you think that can be fixed? Dr. Lee asked. I didn't know. I honestly didn't know. Then one evening, Sarah showed me her phone. David had contacted her again. He wants to see me, she said, her voice trembling. I stared at the message. What did you say? I told him no, she said. I told him I was trying to fix things with you. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to believe that she was truly remorseful. But doubt lingered. Could I ever truly trust her again? I started to reflect on my own behavior, too. Had I become complacent? Had I stopped making an effort to connect with Sarah? Had I been so focused on my career that I had neglected her needs? The truth was, I had taken her for granted. I had assumed that our love was strong enough to withstand anything. I was wrong. Sarah started trying to become a different person. She was more attentive, making an effort to spend time with me. She even started cooking meals I liked, even though I hate rosemary. One evening she asked, what do you think we should do, Mark? We sat together in the living room, a comfortable silence between us. I looked at her, her face etched with worry and sadness. I saw the woman I had fallen in love with, the woman I had shared so many years with, but I also saw the woman who had betrayed my trust, who had shattered my world. I didn't know what to say. The future stretched before us, uncertain and unknown. Could we rebuild our marriage? Could we learn to trust each other again? Or was the damage too deep, the wounds too painful? My face shows a complex mix of emotions, sadness, resignation, and a flicker of hope. I didn't respond.